Hey guys, it's Alex from Protostar here, and I'm bringing you a long overdue tutorial. Today I chose a topic which I've had a big problem over, when I was starting producing, so hopefully this will clear some things up and help you guys that are starting off and using Reason, or even if you're not using Reason, this might be quite helpful, but basically it's dubstep drums. So I'll just show you a little sample of what I'll be showing you and how to make today. So yeah, let's just get started. I'm not just going to show you the combinator. I'm gonna make it from scratch. So if I just move that there. So this is Reason 6. You can do some Reason 5, fine, or no, you can't do it in Reason 4. You can do it in Reason 5, I think, and record 1.5. I'm not sure if you've got Kong, but you can easily do it without Kong. You could just use a redrum. But right, so you go to Create, Other, and make a combinator. I just like making combinators because it makes everything really tidy. So just move it to wherever you want. Then click inside the combinator, go to Create, Other, and Mixer 14:2. This is just going to be a way of beefing up the sound of the drums. Then Create, Instruments, and I prefer to use a Kong because you can, I just like mapping it like this. So then initialize, right click on Kong and click initialize patch. You don't need to do anything yet, but what we need to do now is just create some effects for the kick drum, snare drum, hi-hats, etc. So just go click on the Kong and click create effects, and we want an equalizer, and then click on the equalizer, create effects, compressor, create effects, and add a, where is it? RV7000 advanced reverb. Now what you want to do is just while holding shift, or actually while holding control, just click on all of the devices there and just click duplicate, maybe, I don't know, 3 times. So you have 3 sets of them, or 4 sets of them. So then what you want to do is you want to press tab. So it'll flip the rack around, and here's the back of all the devices. So what you want to do is you want to wire, this is already wired to the first one. So this will be your bass drum equalizer. So just call it BD EQ. You can rename these ones if you want, but because I'm lazy, I'm not gonna. So the next one, you just want to wire up the number 3 output. You want to put it to the left output of the second equalizer. This is going to be your snare. So let's just rename that snare. Turn it over again, and then rewire number 5 to this input here. This will be your third one. Let's just call this hat. Turn it back over and get number 7. You can do this for how many times you want, really. I'm just going to do it for number 4 just for simplicity. Let's call this crash for now. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it, but we might put a crash in there. So let's get started. So basically what you need to do is you need to download some good sample packs. I recommend Googling and downloading the Vengeance sample pack, as it has so many sounds that I use on a regular basis. It has effects, it has drum sounds, it even has loops. So just go download that, because seriously, it's a must-have pack. Pretty much every producer, has one. So what you want to do is you open up the Kong. So you go show drum and effects, you go drum module, and you open up an Nano Sampler. So you click this little button here. This basically browses through your samples. And what I want to do is I'm going to go into my Vengeance pack of samples, and I'm going to go into where are the kicks. Actually, I'll just go back out into my samples and go hard kicks. So you just want to find a kick that's got a nice bit of low end to it. So not too much click, but a nice low end. I'm just going through here. See, I like that one. It's got a bit of click to it as well, which will just add to the aggression. So, the reverb's too much. So what you want to do on all of these is just put it all the way to dry. That means that's just basically like bypassing it. So we can just hear the sound as it's coming through. Now, what you want to do is for each drum, you're going to have to change the drum output so that it will actually go into these different effects. So you want to change this one to main output left, right. So as you can see, it was going through that one anyway, but you just want to do it. You want to put it to main output left, right. So that's a nice sound already. Let's add a layer. So this is the main key about making your drum sound big and hard. If you want, even if you want really sort of like, not hard, but sort of like if you're going for a sort of chilled dubstep feel and you want really big snare that's really thick, it's all about layering, adding sounds that are different sort of peaks but in the audio range. So you just do the same. You go Nano Sampler, open up, and just find a kick with a nice click to it, like a nice bit high end. I think there's one round here that I quite like. That one, yep. It's got some low end as well, but a nice bit of click. So what you want to do now is you press this Q button here. This basically shows the mapping of each pad. So what we want is these buttons here called link. It basically, when you press this pad here, it will set off this one as well. So you link it to D, and you'll do the same with the snares. I'll probably do about 4 snares because I really go over the top with my snares. So as you can see, it triggers both at the same time. Now, what we want to do is EQ the drums. What you want to do is you want to low cut. Then you want to open up parameter 2, so turn that on. Turn the Q all the way to the right, I think. Bring the gain all the way down. And then just bring the frequency bring it all the way to the left. So what this is doing, this is cutting away the sub frequencies, because otherwise if you have sub frequencies in your kick, when you add your sub bass, they will clash, and basically they will fight for the space, and it will basically mudden up your mix, and it can make it clip, it'll bring the levels down. So you just want to keep your sub and your kick very separate. So what I do is I just play around by hitting the key, because I've got a MIDI keyboard, so just hearing what sounds right. You probably won't be able to hear the difference, but you just want to get it so that you don't take too much low end out, but just enough so that the sub will sit. So that's about right. Then turn on parameter 1 and put the frequency to about, let's say about 90, no, a bit less, about 60. And just gain it by about maybe 2 decibels, maybe a bit more if you want. This just adds a bit of thickness to it, and, depth. So that seems alright. Right, now with the compressor, I should have really bypassed it first, but what you want to do is have the attack quite fast, so maybe about 30 milliseconds. The release, it doesn't really matter because it's a kick, so, well, bring it to about 400. Then drive the input gain a bit, have the ratio about 2.4, and then have it so it's compressing about maybe 2 decibels. This is just giving it a bit of punch. Now just the warm plate should be alright for this, so if you just bring it up to about 6 on the dry wet there, maybe a bit less actually, let's bring the decay down. There you go. So I put the decay at 41 and the dry wet to about 6. Gives it a nice little bit of room reverb there. Right, next to the snares. Right, so let's go on make an Nano. I can't speak today. Right, so I'm going to go into my sample bank. Let's go Vengeance, snares. Where are they? There we go, snares. Right, well I'm going to go for a low end snare first, so it gives you that punch that you really want. That sounds quite nice. Let's have that. Let's route it to output 3 and 4. So that basically makes it go over to here. So let's minimize these ones. Right, so put it to dry and bypass the compressor. Why is it not making any sound? Oh yeah, I haven't routed it, have I? You want to route the output of your reverb there. You want to route it to number 2 on the mixer. There we go. Right, with the EQ, low cut again, you don't want any rumbling you know, you won't be able to hear it, but it can give you some extra room. Now you want to boost it about, let's say, about 240. So this is where sort of like the punch is, like the low end. Oh, if you hold shift, you can do really fine adjustments. Just gain it a bit and turn the Q down. That's adding some nice low end there. And now let's add a bit of a bite to it, about 2K, 2000 hertz. There we go. Put the Q in like maybe about 1 o'clock there. Right, and the reverb bring up to about maybe about 6. So next, just add layers. So you just want to layer the crap out of it. So let's go for a sort of middle top snare. Actually, let's just go for that. It sounds nice. So you want to route that to the same one, 3 and 4. Don't forget about that. I forget about it so much. Just bring this one down a bit. It's all just about taste, really, where you want your levels in each of the drums to be. So let's just add another one. I want more bottom end. There's not enough in this snare. Oh, that's really nice there. There's a lot of bottom end in that. So let's link it. So group E. Oh yeah, root it again. That's really fat. And just for good measure, let's just add a clap on top of that. So let's open up that, go back to samples, snares and claps. See, that's got a nice low end to it as well. Sorry, I'm just getting a bit carried away here. There we go, it's really punchy now. Let's just add a... No, that'll do, I think. Okay, right, now let's add some hi-hats. Well, actually, before that, what I like to do is I like to stick a little reverse cymbal just before the snare hit. So let's just do that. Let's go, what was it? Nano Sampler. Let's just go into Vengeance again. See, you need Vengeance. It's such a good sample pack. Go to Cymbals, Reverse Crash. You want something that's quite short. See, it's all too long. Oh, that was nice. Let's have that. Right, let's route this to the last one. So which one was that? That was 7 and 8. So output 7 and 8. Obviously I haven't routed it yet, have I? There we go. Way too much reverb. Let's bring it down to 20. There we go. So this would... You just want to take out the low end really, because there's quite a bit of unheard low end in cymbals. Whereas the no, there we go. That'll do. compression doesn't really matter with cymbals, to be honest. You won't hear much, so let's just bypass that. There you go. So now let's just add a hi-hat. I think I'm going to go for a sort of metallic sort of hi-hat. So let's route this to 5 and 6. Let's go. Find one. Cymbals. I was already in there. Close hi-hat. Here we go. I like going for sort of riding, sort of sounding hi-hats. Really, sort of lets you go with the more of a sort of swing sort of style. But it's up to you. I mean, you can go crazy with the hi-hats, but I like having simple beats sometimes. You know, different songs need different things. I don't like any of those. Let's go for rides. Here we go. Let's go for that. And I haven't routed it. Where is it? There it is. So just put this to any output you want. Bring the dry wet down to maybe 14. Sounds nice. Let's not take too much out of the bottom end because rides do have quite a bit of bottom end. There you go. Actually, let's just cut it. Not so it peaks. And just give it a bit of gain on the high end, maybe 1 decibel. Compressor doesn't really matter here. You can add compression if you want it to hit a bit harder, just by bringing the threshold down, having a ratio about 4:1, that's about right, and then having the attack really short. And just give it a nice impact. But I'm not really going for that. So, right, we got our basic sounds. Let's just lay down a beat. So let's just copy this over. What I normally do is I just I put myself on one. Well, at first I do the snares on 1/8, so I put a kick there, and I put a snare on that beat there. So if I just get rid of these quickly, so basically the basic beat is just, and I forgot to mute that. So bang, bang, bang. So every time. So it's a hit with the kick on the 1, and then a hit with the snare on the 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can add, you know, different kicks and stuff for flavour, whatever you like really. So with the, I'll just do this from scratch. So we've got the kick and the snare down. Then with the cymbals, what I like to do is I like. Okay, with the reverse cymbal, just put it maybe on the offbeat behind the snare, so there will sound probably about right. It needs to be a bit later. So put it at 16ths. Yes, that sounds alright. Now, the hi-hats or the ride or whatever you've put in, you can do whatever you want, just as long, you can do many different patterns, but for different songs, you know, need different needs. But I'm just going to do a straight pattern here. So what I do is I'll just copy it over a couple of times so that it hits on every single beat of the metronome. Oh, that's a bit too fast. Let's just delete those. There you go, that should be right. Now that sounds way too robotic, so what you want to do is you want to go on the offbeat, So not the first beat, but the second one and the second one and the fourth one, etc. You want to just bring down the velocity to maybe less than half, and it will just give it a nice sort of like more human-y feel. I hear a lot of people when they're doing dubstep with the, the cymbals, they just have it straight velocity and it won't sound very nice. But that's the first hit sounds a bit too strong, so let's just bring that down. I've still got to click on. Right, so you can obviously do your levels here. So the secret to making your drums sound really fat in Reason 6 is, what I do is I just use these sends like crap. So what I normally do is this is a sort of almost a cheating way, is just putting a pulverizer in the send. So basically the sound will come through here, it will go through these, so whatever one if you put this one up like that, the sound will go through there and come through this knob here, and that will send it to this, and then it will mix it back in with the original sound. So you want everything, every effect you want in here, you normally want it completely wet. So basic pulverization is quite good on drums. So what you want to do is you put the send up and then just adjust it to what you really want. See, it sounds already so much bigger. So if I turn that off, you'll hear the difference. Adds so much punch to it. Then what you want to do is you want to just maybe create effects. Let's just go for an equalizer. Let's cut it there. Let's just add a bit of high end around there, and maybe a bit of low end here, just to give the snare a bit of extra punch. Right, and then that's for this snare here. Oh, sorry. You need to set up the snare as well. I forgot about that. Right, so then what you want to do is send that to the snare. That's really punchy. Now you can add anything you really want. What I recommend is compression, sidechain, like adding parallel compression. This is basically what it is. It's just adding the compressed sound on top of it. And it just normally usually makes everything sound really big. But you want to be careful that you don't fill out the sound, too much. Otherwise, then you'll have less room for other instruments. You can always add a reverb in here, which is also quite nice. You have it completely wet, set the decay down, and then just put the sends up to whatever you want, really. And I didn't mean to do that. So that should sound a bit roomy. And for the final touch, just add a crash, because that's always good for accents. So crash. Let's add that in this one. 5 and 6. Let's put the velocity up. There you go. It's pretty much a simple tutorial on, well, it's not really simple, but just a simple way to get your drum sounding quite big and nice and nasty. Let's just loop that and let you listen to it. So I hope this has been of a bit of a help to you, you know, into discovering how to make your drums sound quite nice in your songs. Another thing you can do to make them sound bigger is if you follow the link on the screen, I'll show you to a good friend of mine, Dorancourt. He did a tutorial on Sidechain Compression, which is very helpful. I've used it in quite a lot of my songs. It just helps make your drums and your songs sound so much thicker. So I hope this has been help. Hope I haven't waffled too much. Yeah, so if you enjoyed it, subscribe. My EP should be out this week. And yeah, so peace. Bye.